Monday bounce and Tuesday dump is the name of the game yet again, and another signal emerges in the background here, giving likely targets for this current move to the downside. And other than that, I'm going to welcome you back to the Krown Crypto channel. It's a nice little Tuesday morning. Yes, we already spoke about Tuesday. Turnaround Tuesday, but the other way, Anyways, plenty to discuss today as far as Bitcoin actually moving outside of the, $1,000 range that's been trading in for the last, feels like a week, but ultimately this is still overall range plays. Anyways, before we get into this one, I still want to let you know that you can join in on the first session, or the first cohort is actually what they call it, for the trading school that I will be headlining. It sounds like it's like a music festival or something, but you can find a link to that in the description below. And yes, that starts in about 2.5 weeks now. Anyways, without further ado, we can jump right into this one. First things first, I actually want to follow up on this meta signals signal, if that's not redundant enough right here. And as you can see, price action did actually meet that first target, which does have a pretty damn high probability to play out. However, obviously this one is going to be nullified as of this last dump, as the stop loss, or just above $69,000, obviously was closed below. So, another reminder for the people who are out there, if you are looking at this from a probabilistic standing and you are going to play these blindly, which probably not the, wisest way to do it, taking profits at target one is a profitable endeavor. When you have a strike rate that is obviously better than 50% in this case, I believe it is high 60s to low 70s for the first target, then of course, if you trade towards that with an RR of basically 1, it's going to be good over time. Anyways, yes, so of course, everyone's free to do whatever the hell they want, but in that case, just wanted to offer up at least my way of looking at things, as well. On this channel, we've been a little bit more biased towards the downside in the short term here. Anyways, you can still get a 14-day free trial to this service in the link in the description below. And we can now move on into the next chart right here, which is a 2-day time frame for CME and also Bitcoin's spot price action as well. And you can see that a double drive of 2-day time frame regular bearish divergence is emerging right here, closing later tonight, in which will very likely confirm, as long as Bitcoin is below 68,600 on CME right now, trading almost $1,000 below that pivot. Spot price action, we already spoke about the signal that occurred yesterday, or over the weekend actually, playing out. So yes, I don't believe that this move to the downside is done just yet. However, there will be bounces along the way, and the real question is, where are those bounces likely to occur, and where is this one likely to potentially find the next major low? So that is where we're going to bring into focus where is it right here? The first, we're going to go over to stochastic momentum. Actually, let's go to yes, found it. My chart's all discombobulated right here. But yes, another signal that we pointed out yesterday, daily time frame stochastic momentum, getting that double drive to the downside around the critical zone on bearish divergence, because Bitcoin did put in slightly higher highs right there, and actually even supported by the DMI in the background there too. So as long as this is positioned to the downside, I am going to be looking for continuation to the downside. Again, bounces along the way, but as you can see, it does have a long way to go, potentially. And when I do look at this trendline regression governing the last 3 major lows of this year, 2024, with January, April, and more recently in May lows, that would imply things can come down in terms of time. Like a while, if I kind of extrapolate out from here, maybe at least 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 days, we might see this trendline regression hit. And at that point, yes, we might see the next sort of major low being printed for Bitcoin. But until then, it is risk to the downside, as we have been saying in the short term, just more likely for Bitcoin here. It's better to be defensive as of right now. Long term, views still have not changed. Long term, I still think that the market continues to the upside, but this is going to go for an extended correction first, is what it's looking like right here. Anyways, what else can we get into? Yes, we can now get into where is this dump likely to end. So what I'd like to bring up for this is actually the HPOS, the historical price action statistics indicator right here. And we can see that Tuesday, what do you know, is most likely to be a downside day. Since 2024 began, 39 or just over 39% of Tuesdays close positively, meaning that it is the most likely to close negatively throughout that time period. And it does have the highest negative returns as well, with an average loss of almost 3%. On the other side, where we have seen gains on Tuesdays, which I think is very unlikely for today, you're probably not going to see this, but has been 1.5%. So looking at about 3% to the downside from the open, we can see that Bitcoin is pretty much at that number as of right now. That's where the current low of the day is, 67,350 or so. So, does Bitcoin find that as a bit of a short-term boundary and probably bounce from there? Yeah, I'm more biased towards that. I don't think we're going to see a tremendous extension of this move between now and the events of tomorrow. For Wednesday, you have FOMC and probably CPI and all that good shit everyone loves to talk about, which is going to be a really, really good reason to move markets. But I expect that we're not going to see any sort of like major breakdown before then, or any like real move below the current low that we've seen for today. So likely we've seen the low for today. Bitcoin probably tries to bounce, but hang somewhere close to the lows is what I would expect. Moving on from there, we should also go into, actually, do I want to do this on this chart or this chart? Actually, we'll do it on this chart over here. From there, I want to go ahead and measure some other probabilistic areas if this dump does continue, which I believe it very likely will. And it's kind of the same thing as before, obviously. Probably looking at a target somewhere between the 50% level and the 618 fib right here. So somewhere in this pocket right here, that'd be anywhere between, mid to low $66,000 territory to basically $65,000. That could be potential for the next high or low. If that area does fail, probably looking at 63. Also, you can see that Bitcoin is at the 382 level right now, as of right now. But I do want to point out, whoops, as I just kind of draw lines across my damn chart, fuck. But I do want to point out that, Bitcoin's kind of already worn out its welcome around this region, as you did see in the last week of May. Several tests down to that region, did get a nice bounce from it, but, how many times is too many times? Typically 4, actually. Anyways, in this case right here, again, probably not going to break down today, but maybe after Wednesday, we do see this move come down a little bit deeper. What else do I want to get into on top of that? Yes, of course, we do have did I forget to mention it? By the way, you can get this indicator, the historical price action statistics indicator, in the link in the description below. It is now available. I'm going to let you know a little bit of a secret here. We are going to, or at least we are planning to, and it's really up to Caretaker at the end of the day, because he is the mastermind behind actually programming this stuff. But we want to create like a whole suite of price action statistics indicators, which it's going to start off with this one. So for the early people who get in, especially at the lifetime price, you're going to just naturally get grandfathered into those subsequent ones. But as of right now, it'll just be for this particular indicator right here, which works on both the daily and the hourly as well, I should let you know. But of course, I call it these statistics every day. If you want to just be able to read it yourself or apply to other assets, well, then maybe that's a good do. All right, sweet. Okay, we got that. Let's go into the HPDR bands over here. So HPDR bands, again, looking to be like a rejection, very obviously. Bitcoin on the 5-day time frame is going to be testing the median as of today. I don't think it's ready to break down today, but when you start to see closures below that region, that's at the point where moves to the downside become extremely likely, and probably a little bit of a I'd be biased towards a little bit lower, generally speaking, if we do start to see closures below the median. Until then, you can still kind of play the game, but ultimately, this is likely to go on for a little bit of time. I suspect end of month. Again, if Bitcoin was going to break to the upside, I believe we would have seen it last week. That was a very significant rejection that we called out on Thursday or Friday, whatever day that it was. Going over here to the daily time frame, we can see Bitcoin obviously breaking below the median as of right now. 38.2 level is like 66. So maybe a wick down there on Wednesday, and then we come back to it after that and see if that's going to be the one, or if things do come a little bit lower. But for right now, overall short-term bias to the downside remains. For today specifically, we probably seen the low for the day, probably tries for a little bit of a bounce. Assuming that bounce fails to reclaim like $68,500, very likely more downside throughout the rest of the week, and then we'll come back to it after that. Anyways, that is probably a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. What else do I want to say? Yeah, that's it. That's it. And yeah, I think we'll be doing, I really like the feedback for yesterday's stream, by the way. I want to say massive thank you for that. I think we're just going to do some more live streams, but we will do them like shorter for like an hour, something like that. It'll be a little bit easier on my voice so I don't absolutely fucking destroy it. But yeah, just keep an eye out for those. I don't have any set dates as of right now. Probably Thursday is going to be one, but maybe not this exact Thursday. Anyways, again, that's doing it for today. As always, I want to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully tomorrow.